This is Leadership in Action, and I'm Casey Cheshire. Join me as we delve deep into the passions, expertise, and experiences of Boston area innovators. Sponsored by the Boston chapter of the Entrepreneurs Organization. This is Leadership in Action. Hello. I'm here with a special introduction to this episode. It's a special episode. It's actually a live episode, which is something we've been having a lot of fun with here in EO Boston. We recently had an event, and wouldn't you know, the event was all about podcasting. And we have an amazing guest speaker, Chris Krimitsos. And one of the things we want to do in the chapter was actually have a live podcast recording of this show, Leadership in Action. So at the Nash Bar in Boston, we had a full setup. We had microphones, we had cameras, all the things. And what we wanted to do for this episode is share with you the different mini interviews we had with many EO members at that event. It was noisy, but our microphones worked really well. It was a lot of fun. And we asked two main questions. The first one was, do you have a favorite EO experience? And then the second question was, do you have a favorite book? Those are two simple questions, and we had a lot of fun. So this episode will summarize a lot of people's favorite experiences and also their most recommended book or books. And there's a lot of great ones in this. If you are an Audible fiend like myself, or you have a library of to-be-read books, this would be the episode to check out. It's also a lot of fun just to hear different voices. There is a video if you're interested in going and hopping on YouTube. Otherwise, enjoy the audio. And there should be many more of these events coming up in the future. Enjoy this one, and we will see you all next time.
This is probably one of the best, if not the best, leadership podcasts that I've ever seen. And that's because Casey is the host. So my name is Mark Wooster, aka Nurse Mark, and I am really excited to be here. That is the company. I am the company, and I work for a lot of different companies. Not work for, but I'm involved in. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some quick questions for you here.
Here we go.
What is your biggest takeaway from EO or experience?
So EO fundamentally changed my life in every aspect, personally and in business. In business, it really took me from being a small business owner in the south of Boston to being a global entrepreneur. And understanding that no matter where we are, what political situation we're in, what religion we belong to, as entrepreneurs, we experience the same exact issues. And that brought me to a whole new level. Absolutely. And on a personal basis, I mean, I have friends around the world, dear friends around the world. I can drop into almost any place in the world and find another EO member that if I haven't met, will become a dear friend in a matter of minutes. It's just an amazing organization, Casey.
So true. And then, I guess we don't need to do details on this, but we did have a good time in Thailand. That was a good place. Well, I remember I have a photo of us being on a skyscraper out in the open, because it was an open air bar on top of a skyscraper in Bangkok, Thailand.
80-story skyscraper. I don't even know.
And this guy, you're in a tux, you're swilling around a little drink. What's up, everybody? I'm Nurse Mark. Man, I think that's one of the first times I had like an extended amount of time with you. But like we connected and met through EO. And
we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And we're dear friends. I mean, we traveled this road together. Here we are back again in Boston and enjoying each other's company, Casey.
100%, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and EO did that.
EO did that.
Forever grateful.
Me too.
Next question. What is your most recommended book?
Oh, there are so many recommendations that I could give. Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh was something that totally took me by surprise and changed things for me. The One Thing I read last year, I thought that was good because I as an entrepreneur, I don't know, maybe you all can identify with this. I tend to have 18 to 20 different fantastic, amazing ideas that I need to get to right away.
Yeah.
Well, The One Thing was about that. Take the one thing that you can do today to have the most impact on your life and do it.
Yeah, so good. I thought you might even go into books like Spirit Molecule or the Immortality Key. Do you know that one?
Oh, I do know that one. Yeah. Many Masters, Many Lives. I'm enjoying that right now as a reread, you know.
Perhaps I shall be on your future podcast, sir.
You will, my friend.
We should talk about this. Maybe we can have a little EO ayahuasca experience. But anyways.
I'm always down for that.
Carrying on. As
on.
they say. Hi, sir. Or the Cigars with Marines podcast.
Oh, that was fun.
That
was fun. That was a good time.
Good stuff. Lastly, you know Sarah.
I do.
We know her from GLC.
She's
leaving. So
yeah.
Do you have any kind words for her, and then maybe a favorite experience with her?
You know, the universe works in the most marvelous ways, because I didn't even know about this event until this morning. It just popped up on my WhatsApp feed, and I said, oh my gosh, I have to go to this, not even knowing that it's Sarah's last event with EO Boston. I was here for Sarah's first event with EO Boston.
Really?
And I had the joy, and I'm not just saying that, I had the joy of working with Sarah. She was the admin, she was the executive admin, the person who makes everything work in EO Boston when I was president of the chapter for a year.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, Sarah is one of the most amazing human beings that I really have had the honor of getting to know. And I know we're going to continue on from here as the best of friends.
100%.
Yeah.
Sarah's the best. Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir. That was great.
My man.
You're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Semper Fi. Do or die.
Semper Fi.
Hi, my name is Clemencia Herrera, and my business is called Moira Studio, and we do political advertising for Latinos.
I love that. And we've got a live crowd here too, which is fantastic. Your first question is, do you have a favorite experience or takeaway from EO?
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway is I can't do this alone. And that was one of the things that I kind of had in my mind when I joined EO. It's like, I'm a strong, independent, woman, and I can do this and can do this on my own. I don't need anyone. And, some of it is true, but also, also I need help in learning that during my years in EO, having the community around me and having the support, non-judgmental support, in not unbiased support too, from people have been my mentors, people that have been my peers, has been essential for me not to just make the right strategic decisions, but also to have the to be brave to take those decisions and make them happen. And also just to build my trust in myself. And so it's been a really enriching community environment.
It's so important that you're not alone, and that it can be very isolating as a leader, because you're not really supposed to share all your stresses and so it's like
with your employees,
right?
Or with your clients.
That's its own problem, right? But if let's say you're not doing that because you're being a good leader, who do you share that with? And we've got feelings, we're thinking about these things all night long. But you come to a room like this and people understand. Yeah,
it's lonely at the top.
It is.
But just meeting other people are also, and this is the other thing. Whenever I would go to these networking things before, and I would meet other business owners, it wouldn't be a space that was open to be very honest and earnest about what's going on with your business. It was always like, well, everything is, leaps and bounds, leaps and bounds. Everything is great. And then everything could be crumbling, but but in this way here, EO has open space for us to be able to share, again, in a non-judgmental and also a very private way, the inner goings of our business, even if they're sometimes they're great and sometimes not so great, and sometimes you just need to work on things. And so that's been my biggest thing.
Yeah, that is powerful. I love that. The next question, a little more fun, a little easier to answer maybe, which is, do you have a most recommended book Do you recommend a book a lot, or have a favorite book?
I love Good to Great.
Mm.
I love it. There is so much to unpack from there. And there's also, I love the fact that it was based on data that they studied for a long time. And they just read a bunch of articles. It's just not like some guru guy that's like, oh, look, this is what I know.
I have an idea. Let me pull that from the sky.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's more
data.
like, okay, we studied this and that's what we came up with. That's the conclusion.
Yes.
And then every time that they come up with a takeaway, they say, well, that's because we studied this and like 85% of the companies, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember exactly what the data said, but
yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So it was and it's also just like structured. So you can like say, okay, well, this year I'm going to work on, my hedgehog or, whatever.
Right.
Or this year I'm going to work on, am I the right CEO or do I need to pick the right CEO? Or like, so it's like really good, just bite-sized pieces. Well, not really bite-sized. It's a lot of work.
Questions, but you don't have to see you don't have to be overwhelmed by every. I totally get
each
that.
chapter is divided into something that you can work on, and then then that's divided into more bullet points that you can think about. So I actually it's so funny because I just recently read it. I just loved it, and I just reread it again. Can I say another one?
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Big Leap. Love that book.
Okay.
I love that book. I read it. I usually don't read books several times.
Okay.
I read that one twice already because it was so inspiring to me about, being in it talks about being in your zone of genius. And it's like really discovering what you're good at and what you, not only what you're good at, but also like the intersection between what you're good at and what you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
And so that was really inspiring to me. And that I got the audiobook, and it's actually the author that does it. And he's just got this like super relaxing and very, I don't know, inspiring, motivational voice.
You need that.
You're just like, yeah, tell me. So that was, that's another book that I highly recommend.
Excellent. Last question. You know Sarah, our chapter manager?
Of course.
She's leaving. And if you could take a few minutes to maybe share a favorite experience with Sarah, fun time, and maybe some nice words as well with her.
The first time I met Sarah, it was my very first EO event. And of course, I was like very nervous about what was going to happen. And so I went in, and I'm like walking around kind of lost. I don't know where I'm doing. And then here comes Sarah with this big smile. And she's like, hi, Clemencia, right? And then, she's just like, let me introduce you to people. And so that's just who Sarah always was. She was always very giving and like always very positive, always with a smile, always, I don't know, she just has this great energy. So wherever you go, Sarah, you're gonna kick butt, and whoever is gonna work with Sarah is gonna be a very lucky person.
100%.
Yeah.
I think they're probably competing right now.
I hope so.
We love you, Sarah.
Love you, Sarah.
And that's it. Oh, first of all, start by introducing yourself and your company.
What's up, guys? I'm Doc Roger St. Onge. I own Move Athletics. We're an out-of-network physical therapy company in West Springfield that is really focused on helping athletes and active adults.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have a web address? What's your...
Oh, yeah. So you can check us out at www.moveathleticspt.com or on Instagram, Facebook, more so probably Instagram, at Move Athletics PT. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then just move over real quick. Come this way. It's weird, but it's like, that's how you do it on camera. You're like, hey, what's up?
Oh, look, we're going to hug each other.
How's it going?
I'm glad we had the same thought.
So is this your first EO event?
This is my first EO event ever. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. And did you just get here?
Like 30 minutes. I was told to come over here earlier, but I was just having a drink and mingling.
Yeah, you gotta get a little drink first.
Yeah,
but have you met anyone yet?
I actually don't quiz me on names, but I've been mingling with.
I still don't know.
with
8 years later.
quite a few people. There's a lot of knowledge in this room. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, even just some of the guests I was having some conversations with, I'm like, all right, I'm already getting some different frames of thinking.
Knowledge. We have a chapter podcast. I don't know if you know about that.
No. Nope.
So it's on this card. So you want to look it up later on.
Yeah.
We got to get you on here though.
Yeah, for sure.
Get you on here. But yeah, I've been doing this, and I've been just interviewing different podcast people in the chapter, and man, there's just so much knowledge.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, I can't wait for you to just experience all the things that you know. But the next question is, do you have a favorite, most recommended book?
That is highly dependent on the topic, right? That's such a wide question.
I know, it's a hard one, right?
Are we talking personal development, relationships, people?
Most recommended,
business,
like you've given
in
it,
general?
you've bought it for
Daily
people.
Stoic.
Daily Stoic
by Ryan Holiday. The Daily Stoic.
I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, so that is I'm real big into the study, the philosophy of Stoicism, right?
Nice.
And Ryan Holiday is like, I don't know, the leading authoritarian currently pretty much on that stuff.
Right.
So it's a book that's designed to be read and absorbed daily. It's very small, bite-sized chunks.
I like that.
It's one quote from a philosopher of the past and a breakdown of how it applies daily to really give you a lot of reframe and a lot of different mindsets. And I think that a big secret that a lot of people won't tell you in business is that business success comes on the back of massive personal development.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's funny, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that I do every single day. I'm 3 years into reading it.
Okay.
And
really?
Yeah. So it's just
how many pages is it?
It was 1 page a day. It's 366 pages, but it's literally just, it has a date. Each month has like a topic and a direction. It's broken up.
Okay.
The book is broken up into 3 sections, but each month has its own like dedication.
Gotcha.
And I felt like I was really not being intentional with it. I was just kind of going through the motions of it. So I picked up, there's a journal that goes along with it.
Oh yeah.
Daily Stoic journal. So you
journaling,
read it,
man.
It gives you a little prompt, just a little area to write in, like morning and evening reflection. And it just has made it so intentional. And it's been life-changing. That is the book that I've bought for so many people.
What's one takeaway you got from it, or one life-changing change you've made, or impact it's had?
It's just the frame of thinking, right? Like, one, don't take things personally, right? Nothing is personal. But a huge one that I've taken away that really sticks with me is you always have the option of not having an opinion.
Interesting.
Right? And what that really means to me is that, like, well, there's so many things, right? Like, we're more often afraid, right, than hurt. We're harmed in our imagination, right, more often than in real life. So
yeah, the fear,
it's
not
not
running the scenarios in our head.
Yeah, it's not the events in your life that bother you. It's the way that you think about those events. And the only thing that you can control in life is not anything that anybody does or says. You can't even control your body. You could lose your arm tomorrow, your legs, right? The only thing that you can control is hope not. Yeah, absolutely. The only thing you can control, though, is how you think about it, how you feel about it. Yeah. And that determines your outlook and your experience in life.
Totally, man. And then whatever battle you're winning or losing personally, you then reflect that intentionally or accidentally on your company.
Yeah.
So whatever your flaws are.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not creating a company that if you're not intentional about it, right? You could create a company that just, you're all doing the same thing wrong that you do wrong, right?
Absolutely.
And if you get someone that's the opposite and they can actually fix it, sometimes they're annoying to you.
Oh yeah.
But you need that counterbalance.
Absolutely. Yin and yang, right? And totally. I as a rule, I try to only hire people that are smarter than me anyways,
Smarter. Yeah.
I heard was it Apple or Google? Apple doesn't hire people to tell them what to do. They hire people to tell Apple what to do.
Interesting.
Right? Like, you're the expert. Tell me what to do.
Yeah. What should I be doing?
I don't want to hire somebody and
I like that.
micromanage them. I want to hire somebody and have them make the damn decisions, and
right.
they need my help. Like, then I'll step in.
Totally, man. Yeah. Totally. Well, thank you. That was it. What did you think?
I think
pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it was great. We actually have a podcast too.
Yeah.
Oh,
give a shout out to your podcast.
It's called the Move Well Radio. It's available everywhere. Yep.
Well, please introduce yourself and your company.
Oh, thank you so much, Casey. I'm Kerri Garbis. My company is Ovation. We are a communication skills training firm. We specialize in professional presence and speaker development.
Ooh, I'm suddenly nervous now with my speaking.
You should be.
I probably need development.
I already have like 3 pages of notes for you.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we'll have to get to the question so I can get my notes.
Okay.
All right. First question.
Yes.
What is your biggest takeaway from EO or your favorite experience from EO or both?
Ooh, my biggest takeaway from EO is that it is a bold, smart move to surround yourself with people that have zones of genius that are other than your own.
No, yeah, 100%.
So that you get a lot of advice from very smart people like you, like other chapter members, or just other business professionals will say, yeah, don't do that, because they won't tell you don't do that. They'll say, here's when I did that, what happened.
Yeah. And then you hear the horror story and you're like, oh, thanks for telling me about that so I can avoid that.
That's right.
Amazing. You should just scoot this way a little bit.
Okay. I mean, if you wanted me to get closer, you could have just said,
I know.
Let's get, that's a little
This is how I get close to people. I have to do podcasts.
Okay.
Hello.
Is this inappropriate?
Suddenly nervous.
Right. Sorry.
Next question.
Yes.
Kerri Garbis.
Yes.
Whichever most recommended book.
Other than Presentation Skills for Managers, published by McGraw-Hill by me.
Tell us more about that book.
You're very kind.
Yeah.
Presentation Skills for Managers, Casey, is not just for managers. It is for everyone. Anyone who wants to be a little more confident when speaking in front of others, and who doesn't want to be more confident speaking in front of others.
Like right now, we're actually speaking in front of others.
We are.
You can't tell, but there's
a bar of people
a lot
here.
more people than we thought would be here.
Yeah, but you know what?
All out there.
You know what? No one's looking at us. Like literally no one is looking at us.
And that's a great device for not being, stage fright, because actually no one is paying attention.
It's not, don't go with the old adage of picture everybody naked, because we know from your podcast that that's the myth.
Yes.
And if you don't know, check out episode 44.
I was on Vibrate.
Okay. Oh.
Wow. But your books, snoozing.
And yes, so that's not the biggest myth of presentation skills. The biggest myth is just get in a bar of people that have free drinks and you'll be fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Just not too many. With great power comes great responsibility. One drink, maybe a little Red Bull in there, but don't go crazy.
Yes.
Don't drown your anxiety for speaking.
Right. Also, don't bring your drink near the sound equipment. I didn't do it. I left it on the table over there. I was very responsible.
Oh, mine's over there too. Okay. Great answer. Great answer. That's like Family Feud, right? Hey, good answer.
Yes.
Good answer.
You know, I was on Family Feud.
Yes,
for real. I was on Family Feud. It was Steve Harvey. It was Steve Harvey.
You met Steve Harvey?
Oh, yes. He got like this close to me.
How am I learning this now?
I don't know. Do you know I've been on 2 game shows?
What was the other one?
Price is Right.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
We've got stories here, folks.
Have you not met me?
No, I've done a whole podcast with you and I still didn't. Okay. So you saved those stories for this.
Yes.
Okay. So Steve Harvey, you met Steve Harvey and then you were on Price is Right.
Well, first I was on Price is Right and then I was on Family Feud.
You're a serial gamer. Got it.
Yep.
Did you hear about the lady in Massachusetts who won the Price is Right? And she won a trip to New Hampshire. Did you hear about that?
No, but that's so cool.
It happened. But to claim her prize, she has to fly to LA to get on the flight to come to New Hampshire. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I won a year supply of Utterly Smooth hand cream that arrived at my apartment in like a crate.
Now, was it utterly or utterly?
Like cow. You're from New Hampshire, like the udders of the cows.
No, I'm just making sure that you're pronunciating correctly.
And then a flatware set, an Oneida flatware set. And then I was like 20 cents under from getting into the Showcase Showdown.
Oneida. You sure it wasn't like Wonders?
No, it was Oneida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a winner.
Are we off topic?
We have a winner here, folks. Last question.
Yes.
Do you know Sarah, our chapter manager?
I do know Sarah.
Sarah is leaving the chapter. So could you tell about a favorite experience with her and then maybe some words for Sarah?
Sarah is a wonderfully warm human being, and she has that gift that when you are speaking to her and you're in front of her, you are the only person there in the world, and she is always willing to help or find something out, or she is a doer, and I will miss getting to interact with her on a daily basis. I do, however, Sarah, still plan on stalking you, but just maybe monthly. So
Yes,
don't
monthly.
worry, and maybe don't open all the boxes I send.
But you're right. You are the one person she's talking to.
That's right.
None of us do that, but she does that.
She does. She's good.
Yeah. You're amazing, Sarah.
Yes, you are.
First things first, introduce yourself, who you are, company, all that jazz.
So I'm Matt Rudnick, CEO, founder of Main Sheet, which is a M&A advisory firm based on the South Shore, just south of Boston. And our focus is helping companies that are normally in the $10 to $50 million enterprise value. So if you're going to sell your company and you're worth 10 million or you're worth 50 million, that's kind of the middle of the bell curve. But
okay.
My focus in life is trying to help entrepreneurs. So they
Hell
can
yeah.
be smaller than that, they can be bigger than that, but really it's trying to help entrepreneurs sell their business, navigate that whole process.
Yeah.
Because it's daunting, right?
Yeah, it's very daunting.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming. This is a little live episode of EO Boston's podcast, Leadership in Action. Boom. A couple questions for you. One.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest takeaway and or experience with EO Boston?
Tonight or in general?
In general, in your lifetime.
So I've heard of YPO. I've heard of all these different groups out there.
Yep.
In my experience, EO has provided me the most value of any group that I've ever
Super
seen
cool.
like this. So I've sold businesses that are part of EO. I've made a lot of friends that are part of EO. And you know, I think EO is one of those organizations that just seems to give a lot more than they expect to receive.
Yeah.
So, my biggest takeaway is how many friends that I've made out of this. It's about doing business, but at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying what you're doing as a business, owner or entrepreneur, and you're not finding friendships from this or having fun from this,
Right.
like what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
like Glenn, who put this event tonight, to put this event
Shout
together.
out to Glenn.
I'm a huge fan of Glenn. I mean, I consider him one of my best friends.
Oh yeah, no, you're
and
good.
yeah, so to me, that's what it's all about. It's these lifelong friendships that EO fosters. So
awesome.
I could go on and on.
No, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way. The next question is,
And we're gonna become friends too. So
you know what?
Get ready.
Podcasts are a great way to start that, right? Hey, remember that time we had shots at the bar at the
That's
EO
right.
event and we forgot our names?
Right.
That's how it starts, man. In a podcast, we get to chat one-on-one.
And the talk tonight was great. I mean, I learned a lot about podcasting in general. Like, I guess you kind of put podcasting in a bucket in some ways. Like, I think about the internet. I think about TV. I think about like different channels.
Yeah, different channels.
And I listen to podcasts more for entertainment.
Yeah.
But what I learned tonight was,
I'll just face that to you a little bit.
like this.
No, like angle it. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
That's a timber.
Yeah, you got a little different voice going on now.
Now
What's
I'm
up?
deep.
Oh, snap.
Look out.
All the listeners were like, "Hey, who's?" And they're like sitting up in their chairs now.
So who was the speaker? What was
Chris.
this?
Chris Kamitzos.
Kamitzos?
Yeah,
He's a rock star.
he's a good guy, man. He's a rock star, good guy all around.
So Chris tonight, I thought really opened my eyes as it relates to what you can do from 0 to 100, like as a podcaster, as a newbie, as someone who might have something to say about a sector.
Yeah.
You might have something to say that no one else has to say or hasn't said yet. Or there might be an existing website that you could buy from someone and take that and run with it.
Yeah.
And improve on what they were saying. Yeah. So I learned a ton tonight.
Yeah, me too, man. Chris is my Yoda, so I've learned a lot from him. What is your most recommended book?
Book?
Yeah.
Work related or personal?
Anything, man. It could be fiction, nonfiction, business book, sci-fi, you name it.
Snow Crash.
I've heard of that one.
Neil
I
Stephenson.
haven't read it though. Is that where
so
it's
he
at?
kind of predicted this whole metaverse,
Really?
avatars.
Okay.
He predicted all that.
Wow.
Way ahead. I mean, that's why I love sci-fi. They're all futurists, right? I mean, I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, and The Shining is probably one of my favorite books and movies, which is weird because the movie didn't really follow the book as well as Stephen King wanted.
Right.
So if it's possible to like the movie as well as the book, but for different reasons, The Shining is my favorite movie, and the book is one of my favorite books.
Amazing.
But recently, I've been reading more Hunter S. Thompson. I've been getting.
Really?
I've
Okay.
always loved Hunter S. Thompson,
Yeah.
but I picked up Fear and Loathing on the campaign trail.
On the campaign trail. Interesting.
So I've started reading that. Like I've started to pick up more Hunter S. Thompson recently.
Excellent.
I just like the way he writes. He's got such an edge to him, and you think about all the drugs he did and all the drinking he did,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, how did he write as well as he did?
Right.
After everything he was
How's it even
putting,
possible? Yeah.
so that just shows you that that guy was a machine.
That's
But
brilliant. Can you please introduce yourself and your company?
Sure. I'm Wendy Pease from Rapport International.
Excellent. Now, your first question is, do you have a favorite EO experience or takeaway?
Well, you know what? I joined right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so for my first almost 2 years, everything was virtual.
Oh,
So yeah,
That is
very
tough.
tough to get to know
Yeah.
people. Very tough to do.
and when you
big
do, we
Zoom
got masks
meetings.
on. You can't see each other. And,
Yeah, I know it's such a blessing to be here like this.
Yes.
So I have to say that in-person events are my favorite events.
Yeah. And what about them makes them your favorite? What does it feel like in this room?
Well, it just feels like all the people that I'm going to talk to understand what's going on in my life. It's my
Yeah.
tribe. It's
Yeah.
they got the same worries that I do. And so I get fabulous advice just hooking up in the meetings. And the other thing is I'm meeting really great people to do fun stuff with.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
hiking with you.
Like hiking. We went hiking and neither of us died.
No, Varun
we
was
lived.
along and that was a lot of
Room.
fun.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
fun trips like that, locally and internationally. I agree. I love the in-person events too. There's something about it. You just feel at home. You feel like you're with, like you said, your tribe, your people.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you have a most recommended book? And feel free. And if you don't pitch your book, I'm going to tell people about it. But yeah, tell us. Do you have a most recommended book?
Of course, I'm going to say my book.
Yes,
right?
please do. Yes, you have to. That's the author code. You have to.
So I'm coming
about
up
it.
on the year anniversary of when my book published. It's called The Language of Global Marketing. Translate your domestic strategies into international sales and profits.
Love that.
And it's been such a good year because as everything shut down, people could network globally so much easier. And my book really takes you through why do you want to think about going international, why the consumers from around the world can really afford to buy American goods or goods from other countries. And then how do you develop a process to actually do it and be successful on it? And then it provides a list of all sorts of resources that will help companies export.
We're going to link to that in the notes.
Oh,
Sure.
good. Thank you.
My next
We won a book award.
What?
Yeah.
Where? What kind of
Yeah.
award?
I forget the name of it right now, but it
Nah,
was
it escapes me.
prestigious, and we
We'll
were
put that in the
finalists
notes,
and
too.
we won.
We'll put that in the notes. I'll go in the notes. Have you met Sarah?
Sarah.
Chapter manager Sarah.
Absolutely. I love Sarah.
So she's leaving.
I do.
So if you could take a few minutes to maybe share an experience you have with Sarah or just some nice words, kind words to her.
Sarah, you've been here a long time. You are one of the people that really made me feel welcome and taken care of here. You know that I have to eat gluten-free, and every event I am always watched out for. You're responsive. You get right back to me when I have a question. So I really appreciate all the support that you've given me. With your experience here, you're going to soar in wherever you're going next. And I wish you the best of luck, and certainly keep in touch because you got a lot of huge fans around here.
Love that. And that's it.
Hey, Casey.
Hi.
My name is Ryan Villanueva. I'm the co-founder of Best Delegate Model United Nations, a K-12 education company specializing in Model United Nations. And I'm a senior consultant at Cruise Consulting Group.
All right. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for
Now
having
we
me
have a
on.
couple quick questions for you on this
Yeah.
special night. It's a special night where we're literally live at an EO event. So if you hear background noise, that's for you all listening. That's to make it more realistic. Ryan, what is your biggest takeaway from EO and or biggest experience, the memory you remember the most or takeaway that really hit you hard?
Takeaway is that one of the best investments that an entrepreneur can make is in their own education and in their team.
Yeah.
I think I've learned a lot from EO over the years, both from in the form of content and events like this one, and just learning from fellow entrepreneurs like yourself.
Yeah, man.
Casey. And what I think is even more important, that's helped me grow, but having a leadership team that is growing along with me, going to some of this stuff, learning some of this stuff, and investing in their growth and development. People are the name of the game when it comes to, I think, building a successful business. So having the right people, right seats, right time, and getting them to do the right things.
No, I love that.
That's the key.
No one's mentioned that yet, but it's so right. And there's that, there's that talk about it, that there's a curve where you're constantly learning. But if the people that are around you, your leadership team, like you mentioned, even your spouses, your partners, other people, if they're not learning too, you start creating this gap between you and them. Mm-hmm. And then if you already sounded like an alien, now you really sound like you're crazy, right? Because they're not learning, they're not staying with you. So the idea of investing in them is so they can come along with you. I think that's huge, man. I love that.
In both business and life. I think
100%.
I think that's totally true.
100%. Next question is, what is your most recommended book?
Oh, man. For this one, I'm going to use the book. I'm going to go a little left field on this one. I find myself constantly recommending the book Simple Numbers by fellow EO member Greg Crabtree.
Shout out to Greg. Craig. Is it Craig or Greg?
Greg. Yeah. Because his book on Simple Numbers, Big Profits is like hands down the best book on small business finance that I've ever read. And I came from a corporate finance background before becoming an entrepreneur.
Love that.
And the way that he talks about finance is really, really good. And I find that most business owners, that's a big gap. They don't have the same handle on
they don't want to manage finance. It. They don't want to look at it. I've been there. And you know what? If you don't look at that, it's gonna bite you.
You gotta, understand what it means. And then when you understand, it's kind of cool. Actually, you can see like, all right, here's how we can drive certain things. And most importantly, make our way through the danger zone, a certain level of growth, like 1 million annual revenue, like 5 million. There's a big, there's certain challenges we need to overcome. And he explains that incredibly well for how to get to that next level and beyond. And so, I find myself recommending that book pretty often.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the last thing really is, Sarah, you've worked with her as a chapter president. She's leaving. So we're doing a special thing she doesn't know about where we're going to record a little note to her, maybe some advice or some nice things or a story you remember about her. So anything you remember and want to share with her.
First, I just want to say thank you, Sarah. Thank you for, oh my God, all you've done for the chapter. We're a better and stronger chapter because of you. And I think you've made a lasting impact on us as a chapter, like all the entrepreneurs here. With like, I can see you like right there, right? We're just like,
you're right there and you don't know what we're talking about.
I know. Which is like, but she's made an awesome impact on the chapter, and I'm just like grateful and thankful. And I guess I'll share, like, I was president of the chapter a couple of years ago, so I really had to lean on Sarah, and she really had to help me, navigate through. This is like the 2020, like literally at the beginning of COVID was when my presidency was 2019 to 2020, and she was right there along with me, doing our best to navigate and lead the chapter during that time. So I'm just super thankful to everything Sarah's done. And I know she's on to bigger and better things because she's awesome.
Absolutely. That's it, man. Thanks for coming on here. That's it. Yeah, it's not as long as our podcast. I
know. We had like a
do you want to practice here? Here, you ask me the questions.
Oh my God. We're turning the tables.
Yeah, this is also your practice for your future podcast.
No one's asked you these questions yet?
Not yet. And you know what? I know your podcast is in the future. So this is
it already.
I know it.
All right. Well, Hello and welcome to our podcast, Leadership in Action. I'm your host, Ryan Villanueva. We've got 2 minutes left. We're here live at the Nash Bar and Stage, the newest bar in Boston, where the Entrepreneurs Organization has booked out the entire second floor for an event on podcasting. I'm here with my co-host, Casey Cheshire.
Hi.
And Casey, I'd love for you to introduce yourself. Let the audience know what's your business, who you are, and what are you doing here?
Sure. Casey Cheshire. Nice to meet you all. I create podcasts for businesses, and I have so much fun doing it. I create podcasts with the sole intent of connecting you with your customer or your future customer. And guess what? You connect and you probably do business together. I have a lot of fun doing it. And that's kind of why I'm here, to just teach people about that.
I can tell. I've met a number of your staff who are here, Casey.
Yeah,
they're really. I will say one of them said that you are the best boss they've ever had.
Oh, come on.
I want that on camera. I want that recorded.
All right.
You said that you were the best boss. Okay. I know we only got a couple minutes.
True.
So I literally have only one question for you.
Yes.
Casey, you're a longtime member of the EO Boston chapter.
Yes.
You know that our chapter manager, Sarah Cohen, is outgoing. She's on to a new chapter of her career.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're doing this and she doesn't know about it. Do you have any words to say to Sarah or anything to share about her impact on the chapter?
Yeah, totally. Let's do this. Sarah, you're freaking awesome. No one is going to champion for you more than you. You are amazing. Know that. All these interviews, all these people have said that. Take that in. Keep this video at hand. Anytime you doubt yourself, hit play. You are amazing, and you got to be your own champion. Now, we're all here rooting you on, but you got this. You don't need us. You are just going to just take over the planet. I've seen you in action. You execute. You are the most valuable player here. You're the MVP. If you don't get scooped up in like 3.4 days, I'll be surprised. But man, anyone would be lucky to have you. You are amazing. I love you. You're a kind person. You're a caring person. Yeah. You're a freaking fun person. Yeah. I can't wait to hang out with you again on a GLC. Let's find a way to make it happen. You are in this EO community for life, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Awesome. How was that?
Drop a mic.
Can I give the hosting?
Do you want to do the? No. Do you want to drop an outro? Drop a little
outro.
I don't know. Just like this has been another exciting episode of Leadership in Action.
This has been a wild night with EO Boston and the Leadership in Action podcast. We are your hosts, Casey Cheshire and Ryan Villanueva, and this is out. Good night, good luck, and remember, be a leader in action. This is a Leadership in Action podcast. Thank you.
Leadership in Action is sponsored by the Boston chapter of the Entrepreneurs Organization. As the world's only peer-to-peer network exclusively for entrepreneurs, EO helps transform the lives of those who transform the world.